Welcome to Community Forum. My name is John Guglielmino and I'm your host. This evening we're going to get into the upcoming city election. It's going to be the normal season, actually, between now and November. And with me this evening is the candidate for city clerk, Eileen Kolodarski, someone I've known for a number of years. And I want to welcome you to the show.
Thank you, John.
Okay, you're welcome. Now, you served on the Common Council for 9 years?
Yes.
Okay.
I enjoyed my experience on the council. I love being part of the city. I love helping to make the decisions. I like to make the city a better place.
But before we get into the questions, maybe you can tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, and you know, where you went to school, and then we'll get into the questions.
Great. I'm born and bred in Danbury. I went to Danbury High School. I've gone to Western Connecticut State University. I've got my bachelor's in political science, of all things.
Right.
And I have a master's in health administration. So I've worked with the hospital. I've worked with the health department. I've done all kinds of health education throughout the city. My husband's also a Danbury native. He went to Henry Abbott Tech.
Right.
And I've sent both my boys, I have two boys, both grown men, and they both went through the Danbury public school system.
Time goes by.
Yes, it does. How dare they?
But we all still look good.
I agree.
All right. Now, how long ago did you get into politics, and first things you did before you got into Common Council? I'm sure you had, nobody runs for mayor. I mean, there's some people who run for mayor right away, but generally speaking, people start someplace, stuffing envelopes or whatever.
I actually went right into politics from college. My advisor had said, "Why don't you run for office?" I said, "Oh no, I'm not really ready for that yet. I've got to do something else." And he said it'd be a good experience. So I thought I was going to run for office, lose, and then just get involved. And I ended up winning my first election,
So you were
which
a quick
was
study.
exciting. Yes, it was very exciting.
Okay. And that was a few years ago also, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I came on in 1989 with Jean Arquez.
Okay.
And so it was a great year to be running for office.
Okay. It's good to have the right tide.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what are your reasons for running for city clerk? And you know, we can get into what the difference between city clerk and town clerk and all that on a later question.
Okay, great. I'm running for city clerk because of my experience on the Common Council. I feel the 9 years that I spent, I've learned enough. I know the policies, I know the processes, I know the city very, very well, and I know I'm very organized, and I think that's what we need in a city clerk, because everything's got to be filed in a timely manner. We've got to know where things go, whether they go up the state, whether they're being posted in the newspaper. We've got to be able to find things within the office. We've got to have somebody that's in the office all the time, and I know I can do that. I'm ready to work very hard. I'm ready to make sure the council knows what is available to them, but more importantly, what the public knows, that what is available to them for the council, that they can come into my office and be able to find any kind of record. I can help them if they want to file something, if they want to put something on the agenda. I have enough of the council experience that I can help them file the paperwork.
Right. Now, the city clerk, basically to define the difference between the city and the town clerk, city clerk is in charge of all records having to do with legislative process.
Right.
You know, all of the ordinances that are done, any of the amendments to the ordinances, all the meetings, make sure that the minutes
posted,
are that they're posted to begin with correctly, and also that the minutes are taken or whatever.
The minutes are filed, roll calls are filed, so that everybody knows who was there, who was not there, and has to be accessible to the public.
Now, I know for a fact, as a person involved with a number of community service groups, that they've been lax about that, because I filed a complaint with the Freedom of Information Commission, and I actually won the case. It wasn't very well publicized about the fact that that they had wrongly not filed this, that resulted in one of the agencies losing funding. It wasn't properly filed. It was a quick meeting that was called, and
I understand that.
And the you know, in other words, the Freedom of Information Commission, it was this incumbent that was in charge, that they ruled in my favor, saying that it wasn't properly filed.
And these are the things that shouldn't be happening.
Right.
And I know if I become city clerk, those are one of the things I'm going to watch out for, because things have to be filed in a timely manner, and people have to know about this. And that's a big part of why I think I can do this, because I do know the processes. I do know when things should be filed, where they should be filed.
Is there any other differences there between city clerk and town clerk? The town clerk has a lot more to do with marriage licenses, fishing licenses, every possible fee that's involved with a municipality. They collect the fees and they record the deeds and that kind of thing.
Right. The town clerk files all licenses from birth to death.
Right.
And all the recreation, dogs, the marriages, and she also keeps track of the deeds, and they've gone electronic in our fair city, so it's very easy to find things now. Lori's done a wonderful job. Lori Kaybeck, our town clerk, has done a wonderful job since she's been there.
Right. So there's nothing else is strictly legislative, and
legislative.
But there's quite a bit of work in all the council committees that meet at different times. And
we have to make sure the city clerk will make sure the agenda's all set before a council meeting. I'll be attending all the council meetings, and I will tie up all the loose ends after the meetings as well.
Okay. Now, there's a proposal. Well, let's get into this, because this is important also. There's a proposal to change the charter on this year's. It doesn't affect this year, because you're running for a position that will remain as it is for another 2 years.
Right.
But the change, maybe you want to highlight a little bit. There's a proposed change in the city clerk.
The people of Danbury will be voting in November about for the Charter Revision Commission change. This report states that the city clerk will no longer be, it'll be a legislative assistant, which I agree, that's a very good position. A legislative assistant is what I will be doing anyway. It's also saying that it will be appointed by the mayor. It'll be an appointed position. I don't mind the appointment, but it'll be appointed by the mayor. And that's where my concerns are, because I've always, as a political science major in college, and civically throughout elementary school even, we have 3 branches of government: legislative, executive, and our judicial. And there's always separated powers. And if the mayor is appointing the legislative position,
he's interfering.
He's interfering with the legislative process, as far as I'm concerned, and I have very big concerns with that. So,
and the mayor is already a strong mayor to begin with,
yes,
but by charter,
and that's what we've always asked for.
So to have to have the proper checks and balances, that would be interfering with the legislative process even further, because he already makes the quite a few, like committee appointments and that sort of thing, which I consider an interference. I think they should be done by the president of the council. But you know, I mean, when you get into this is even further interference. You're controlling the
I think even more
process.
So, because I think if the city clerk is reporting to the mayor, he's going to know things before time, even before the committees meet, before the council meets, and I think we'll have more influence. She'll have influence on the council as well.
Yeah. You know, someone that's appointed by him will then be loyal to him, and be working for him rather than.
Concern.
So that's the proposed change, and you know, you're running for office wouldn't actually change that, because you would do it the traditional way for the 2 years, and if that's changed by the voters, which you don't agree, you know, you want it to remain somewhat the same.
Somewhat the same. I feel if the charter Revision Commission had decided that it should be appointed by the council president. I think that would have been a more appropriate move, because this way you'd still have the vote of the council. The council does have a 2/3 vote after the mayor makes a choice. So there is some
ratification.
Kind of, yes.
Yeah. But that'd be more like the Senate, you know, and
Right.
and if the caucus agrees, then
Yes.
it's like a case. It's almost that, you know, well, there have been people that said they sometimes read off of slips of paper, but I don't know. I don't have any proof on that. But I'm saying is that it would be along that line.
Yes.
You just say, hey, you know, I want this done for this person because that person will do
Right.
my bidding, and
the
yeah.
council should be by the people, for the people, and I think the city clerk should be the same.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so let's see here. Other community involvements. The city clerk is basically a person that's highly visible for people that are coming in. When the Common Council's not in session, who do you deal with when you're dealing
Right.
with legislative issues? That's the first person when you come up. There's an office there on the
Right.
third floor.
Or the city clerk.
If it has to do with Common Council activities, you go to the city clerk, and I know that in the past, it was, you know, like Betty Crudgington, when she had the position, she would deal with, have Lollipop for Kids, and she did, knew every where all of the departments, you know, you want to be over here, you want to be, it was more like an informational office also.
That's what I'm hoping to bring back.
Yeah.
I feel I need the people have to have some place where they're comfortable, that they can get all the information that they need, that I can guide them. When I was on the Common Council, I had a lot to do with private roads. I really believe that Danbury, as a small town, big city, big town, we have too many private roads. We have a lot of private sewer systems, and I know a lot of people still want them, but there are many, many people that want to become city entities throughout their communities.
Yeah.
And that's what I had pushed for throughout. And
Right.
now I know the process. I can help guide them
On the proper paperwork.
what they have to file,
Yeah.
what they need, give them the rules, what the regulations they're following.
Right.
And I think I could be there for them. And once people are starting to come up on a regular basis, I want to be there. I know the office isn't always filled right now.
Yeah,
I think there's
sometimes
got to be, if I'm not going to be there, I'm going to be back at a certain time, and I'll make sure that I am.
yeah.
So, because I know
Well,
I will be out in the community as well.
That has been a complaint, that it's not always open.
Right.
And, you know, people sometimes wonder when the incumbent
Right.
is going to be in office, so to speak.
I plan on posting my hours.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be away, I'll be back in 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it's going to be, even if it's just my lunch hour. I think
Right.
it's important that the people know that I am accessible to them.
And
I
coming
am
back
the
soon.
gateway to the council.
Right, yeah. The city clerk's got their own telephone number. Yeah, they got.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And email access.
Yeah.
I truly believe that.
Any comments about that? Is how that's working? Whether or not you have anything in mind to improve it?
I don't really know how often she checks hers right now. I know I'm completely computer literate. I do the website for the Democrats right now, so if you want to check out the candidates, I've got them all listed. I've added their bios and their pictures. I'm working on the pictures right now, so within a week we'll be able to check out all the Democratic candidates.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
All right. And you could do the same for the city clerk's office.
I will. I'll do as much as I can. Right now, I know I went to look for the charter before I came on today.
Right.
And they don't have all the new changes on there. I'm looking through it last night saying, wait a minute, this got changed at the special meeting in March, and I know it was read.
So they have the charter up, but they don't have the changes.
But they don't have all the changes.
That's not really
Yes.
ethical at the very, that's the word to use, ethical. I mean, maybe they have time to change
I got
it.
very nervous reading it, saying, wait a minute. So I called Corporation Counsel this morning and got the official version.
That certain changes
that the changes have been made.
and they're not corrected on the
The
site.
report that I read last night said final report March 2009, and it listed 4-year terms. and I know that was one of the controversial issues during the public hearing. The public hearing was in March.
Right.
That I had attended.
And that wasn't
That
put in.
wasn't changed yet.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yes.
Yeah. Any other things that you'd like to get into? You've been heavily involved with the community in a number of ways.
And I think that's
yeah.
important to the position as well. I know the community inside and out. My kids have been part of football, baseball. We were part of the DEO program. Besides Danbury Youth Services, I'm on Richter Association for the Arts. I'm heavily involved in the arts. I'm the treasurer there. We've got some great programs coming up in the fall. We have concerns about the house. You read about that regularly in the paper. And,
yeah, that has to do more with the mayor, but you know, there's been some controversy about the house and whether or not he wants to rip it down or whether or not.
I must be following the controversy these days.
Yeah. Well, you're on the board there, right?
So yes, but I also work with WestCon with their art alumni. I do the website for them as well. I've got over 400 artists listed on the website, what they do. I look for opportunities for them to show their work, look for job opportunities for graphic design and illustration. So,
how long were you involved with Danbury Youth Services? And I mentioned that because I'm there now.
Yes, yeah, I think that's exciting. I was there for a little over 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go 10 years. 5 years and I'm out.
I was chairman for many years, and I was fundraising chair. When it became a fundraising board, when I first got on, it was a policy board, and then United Way said, you've got to start making some funds. So I was chair when we came up with the basketball game with the police department and the teachers.
Right. And
now it's like a bunch of different groups, and they all compete against each other. And that was actually one of my ideas on my last year.
Oh, okay. That's still working.
Yeah.
Okay. We touched on Richter Park.
And I'll be running with Gary Goncalves. He's our.
Okay.
He's who will.
And you're doing some web work and things for him also, right?
I'm starting the phone bank for him right now. We are starting our phone calls early this year. I know it's only August, but Danbury's gotten so much bigger over the years. We're walking already, and we will be making phone calls. So start looking for our calls. I know caller ID makes it harder to answer, but please answer because we have a lot to say to you.
Okay.
And
now, are you walking? You're already out there?
I've already started walking, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. This heat doesn't make it any easier.
I'm hoping for the sympathy vote at this point.
Well, when you're sweating, that's about you get that from most people.
Yes.
All right.
Or else invite me in. I love to swim.
Now, I didn't ask you this before, but do you have a website yourself for your candidacy?
I do. VoteEileen.com.
Okay.
It's up and running. I am accepting contributions.
VoteEileen.com.
VoteEileen.com. VoteEileen.com.
Okay. And is there a telephone number that people can reach you?
I'm at 744-1949. And always accessible, and I love to answer questions. I'm also on Danbury Democrats website, which is danburydemocrats.net. Like I said, I am doing the webmaster for that. So all of our events are on the front page. Candidates are on second page. And you could
we could talk about. We have time, so you can talk about it. You know.
So it's been exciting. I've been on town committee for, I don't even know how many years. I think since '96.
Yeah, I was going to say you got a few more years than I did.
And it's fun being a candidate and being in front of everybody, but it's also great to make the decisions and decide who we can run and talk to different people about the importance of our democratic process and getting people involved. And we've got a lot of new people on as candidates this year. So it's a teaching process as well. I've got a 17-year-old who's just getting started, and I've brought him out walking with me, and now I'm going to teach him some phone techniques. And we'd love to have new volunteers just come down to headquarters
Yeah, that's the most important thing, and not to be scared about the fact that there may be older people there, because we're looking for younger people to get involved, right?
Yeah, so we can retire happily.
Yeah. Well, you need to have the process go forward. You know,
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree,
Yeah.
and it's fun. The election year, municipal elections are so close. Everybody, you're friends with both parties, you know everybody, so we'd love to get new people down there, we'd love to get young people down there.
Right.
And we've got phone calling, we've got door knocking.
In presidential elections, you have a big surge of energy. But it's unfortunately, by the time you get the municipal, it's like, oh, this has to do with city issues. It's like, roll up the sidewalk, and it's, some of the most important things that happen in government happen at the local level.
I agree.
And it's the wrong, the wrong attitude to have.
This is when you're going to have your streets and your sidewalks and your sewers.
And your schools.
And your schools, most importantly the schools. The schools, you're talking to your Board of Ed people, and you're letting them know what you think is important and your issues. And
of course, let's not leave out the fire department, the police department. You want to make sure there's competent use of those resources.
Of course,
because a suggestion I had made before we had the Taj Mahal on Main Street was maybe having a couple of headquarters, and it's already happening.
Yeah.
That I don't know if you noticed the old headquarters, but they smashed the windows in the front.
Oh, wow.
In other words, the element knows, oh, the headquarters is now down at the other end, and maybe a town needs, several smaller entities around covering the different precincts, as opposed to having one central location that may be large and easy to handle the whole thing. But
and especially because we've got neighborhood units and that type of thing, so we could probably expand that so that we can go west side and.
How much interaction does the city clerk have with other, I can think of a couple examples, but, the other entities in the government, especially when you're changing?
I think it's important. I think the city clerk has got to have her finger on the pulse of everybody. She's got that's why I want to be an information center.
Right.
And I'm hoping to be in contact with all the different departments, and even things like the technology department, because we want to make sure that our websites are right, and we want to make sure
that the charter that's posted is correctly posted. It doesn't have errors in it.
Yes.
Yeah, so those are the important things. I'm cutting you off, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, so those issues, and I know we had several FOI situations aside from the one I complained about.
Right.
And I'm not sure, but if you really take a good look, you probably could find other things.
It's like a budget issue.
Yeah, there's like almost a lapse. As long as I come in 9 to 5 and I'm there for a while, it doesn't make any difference. But it does make a difference.
It does make a difference. I want to make it a
vital,
person-friendly, vital office, and I want to be accessible to the people. But more importantly, I also want to work with the people, go out into the community, go to the different community events, so that they know that I am there for them. I'll go out and speak. I want to be able to...
Because the Common Council is not there. Aside from the committee meetings that are at night, or the Common Council meeting itself at night, the representative of the council is the city clerk's office.
Right, I agree.
They're there all the time in that building. It's been a little lax with this particular clerk, city clerk, that she's, people don't know exactly what she's coming back sometimes. It's been a criticism, right?
Right, and that's why I want to have even a clock on the door if I happen to leave, because they are used to the door being closed, and I would like to have it open.
Yeah, it's a good idea to have the clock on the door if you have to run out for half an hour. Then you know she'll be back in half an hour.
Right. So that you're not wasting the people's time coming into City Hall saying, oh, I just came in here for nothing.
And then there's been people that have come in that have thought that they're being put out, that they're asking, hey, when was this done? It's almost like, well, it's a real strain on that she's got to go look the thing up, and can I come back next week? That kind of thing,
Yeah.
Have you heard that too? Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. I I try to be a little nice.
Yes, okay. You want to get into your, mention your website again and your telephone number?
Well, DanburyDemocrats.net is where we have all of the candidates. That's where we have anything that we've got the Danbury Democratic Town Committee, where John is a new member.
Right.
So welcome.
Thank you.
And my website is voteilene.com.
Okay. And you want to do like a recap of what's going on this summer, because we still got a couple minutes.
Okay.
You know, in other words, what are you going to be doing, let's say, between now and October 1st, you know, at least?
Mostly knocking on doors. We'll be out every single weekend, starting 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturdays, 11 o'clock in the morning on Sundays. We'll be making phone calls. I've actually got a crew that's going to be calling in the afternoon, probably for like 2 to 4, so answer your phones. We've got phone calls in the evenings. They're going to start next week, and maybe even a few nights this week, but right now I've got it for next week.
Right.
If you need information, always call. We've got Democratic headquarters, or
What's the telephone number there?
No.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
I tend to keep forgetting it. It's on the website.
Well, they could call your telephone
yes,
number.
and please call me at 744-1949.
Okay, so we're actually
Because
talking
I'm
about
always-
you tonight. Okay.
Yes, I'm always off by a number.
Okay.
I hate to say that, but I am.
Right. So people could get involved contacting you, go on your website,
Definitely. And
sending you an
yes.
email. You've got the email
Yes,
tied in with the website.
Eileen at voteilene.com.
Right.
And also Colored RC at net.net.
All right, so if any questions, they can send them to you. Okay. Anything else? I think we've got another minute.
Okay. I just believe
Well, maybe
that
events. So, isn't there a clam bake coming on?
We have a clam bake coming
Yeah,
up
okay.
August 30th.
Let's not forget the clams.
Hatters Park, yes. It's an annual picnic. We do this every year at the end of summer. August 30th from 12 to 5 at Hatters Park. It's $25 to get in. Children under 12 are free.
Right.
We'd love to have everybody there. It's going to be
Okay.
a lot of fun. We've got lots of food.
All right.
And
Very good.
the details are on the website.
They're sort of waving to me, so I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, and I want to thank the viewers for tuning in the Community Forum. Tune in next week, same time, same station. We'll have another interesting program. Good night for now, and we'll see you then.